Okay, so for the benchmark, you need to know where the Europeans explored. They're going to give you a world map. Europe will be shown on there. Look, see which country of Europe is highlighted, and that'll help you guess which way they explored. You have a handout that looks like this. Study this. This is the empires, okay? You need to know the British, the Spanish, and the Portuguese. I threw in the French for extra. What you also need to know is that Australia was settled by the United Kingdom, okay? Don't forget mania, okay? That leads up to World War I. Militarism, alliances, nationalism, imperialism, and assassination, okay? Then you have to think about things in history, like the Russian Revolution. Remember, that Tsar, he's bad. People, they're hungry. They get mad. Vladimir Lenin's like, hey, I'm going to fix it. And so the people follow him, and then Russia becomes the Soviet Union. This happens in 1917, okay? Then after World War I's over with, they have the Treaty of Versailles to punish Germany. They say they had to accept blame for World War I. They had to pay war reparations. They got to give up land. They can't hold a military. The Germans, they hate it so much. And this is how Hitler comes into power. Okay, but after that, Germany, they print up money. Everybody makes a whole bunch of bad decisions. Economies go horrible, crash, worldwide depression. Okay, this in Germany leads to the rise of the Nazis. They're like, hey, we're going to make things better in Germany. We'll be great again. It's, we're going to ignore the Treaty of Versailles. And things got better for a long time in Germany. But they also picked on the Jews. They said that was their fault. So they made them scapegoats, which was horrible, which led to the Holocaust. This were 6 million Jews were killed, murdered. Okay, and that's kind of what you need to know from World War II. Okay, another thing that happened after World War II was the Cold War. You get it's a war of words, capitalism versus communism. Germany ends up being split. Berlin was divided. There was no real fighting. It was a war of idea, a war of words, and it was between the two superpowers of the world: the United States, which was capitalism, and the U.S.S.R, the Soviet Union, which represented communism. Okay, you got your Warsaw Pact versus NATO. Okay, this Iron Curtain was the dividing line, imaginary dividing line between the capitalists and the communists. Okay, your Berlin Wall actually split East and West Berlin in Germany. Okay, and then what happens is the Soviet Union, they can't spend enough money to keep up with the capitalists, so communism fails. Okay, and it's marked by the destruction of the Berlin Wall. So the Berlin Wall's gone. That you know that Russia is going to come back because the Soviet Union is done. In the 1990s, it stops being the Soviet Union and starts being Russia again. Okay, so you've got that. That's the end of the Cold War. All right. Also, we're talking about the Aborigines. Remember that their religion is called the Dream Time. Okay, they lived on the coast. They were happy. They had Ayers Rock, which was very important to them. And then came the British. Okay, and the British came in and it's like, we really like this land. We're going to take it. Go inland. And they pushed them away from the coast. They killed the Aborigines with disease and guns. So they died. 90% of the original Aborigines who came here from Southeast Asia were murdered by the British settlers. Who were the first British settlers? That's right. They were prisoners, convicts, inmates. Okay, they got sent to the United Kingdom, or to Australia. They got sent to Australia because the prisons in the United Kingdom were overcrowded. Okay? This is all about how they run their government. Okay? And they end up getting the Australians very much a Christian nation now, and they speak English because of the British settlement. Okay? Government choices. Speaking of government, you've got 3 kinds of power distribution: unitary, confederation, and federal. Remember, unitary is where central is greater than regional. Okay? A confederation is where the central is less than a regional. Okay? And a federal is where the central and the regional are equal. Okay? And then you have citizen participation. Autocracy, 1, self-rule. Okay? Oligarchy, few leaders. Okay? In democracy, all citizens get to vote. All right? You have 2 types of democracy: parliamentary and presidential. The trick is that the parliamentary, the leader is elected by the legislature. The presidential, the people elect the leader. Okay? Then you have your governments. Know that the United Kingdom is a unitary parliamentary democracy. Their legislature is the House of Commons, okay, and the House of Lords. In Germany, you've got a federal parliamentary democracy, and you've got the Bundestag and the Bundesrat. Memorize those. And then finally in Russia, it's a federal presidential democracy. Russia's federation. Okay? You've got the Duma, okay, and the Federal Council. All right? So remember that. Then you have your economic systems. We're almost done, I promise. Okay, so you've got traditional, command, and market. Traditional, same as previous generations. Your daddy did it, his daddy before him did it, and mom, you're going to do it. Command, government ran, or a central planning authority. If you see the words central planning authority or government running things, and they have to do things like quotas, they have to have quotas, then that's a command economy. Market, that's all about making a profit, making that money. You're a given choice. You're going to do what's best for your business. You choose, okay, as an entrepreneur. Trade barriers. Remember, tariff is tax, okay, embargo is block, and a quota is a limit. These are trade barriers on imports, okay. Human capital. If you want your economy to grow, you've got to make people smart. So education, training, skills, healthy. You do that for that human capital, your gross domestic product, your total home goods and services increase. And everybody's happy because they're more rich. All right? And then last thing, the one we have to practice on that we have to remember from the first benchmark is this. You've got United Kingdom, Russia, Germany, and Italy. Here's how they're different. UK, you got industry like farming and banking. They've got nice weather because of the Gulf Stream. They've got major airports, which helps out with the banking. Russia, on the other hand, is cold, is really cold. They've got permafrost. You can't dig into the ground because your axe will actually just like bounce off. You can't farm in that. You've got all kinds of minerals in Russia. You can't get them. The ground's too frozen. So you've got to worry about that. The port's frozen in the wintertime. So they've got a lot of issues in Russia they have to deal with. Germany, all about the manufacturing. They go on that Rhine River. They export things that they make. Okay, and then lastly, Italy, tourism. They're on the Mediterranean Sea. It's lovely. It's nice. Its weather is like the southeast coast of Australia's weather. Very nice. Not too hot, not too cold. Goldilocks, just right. Okay, that Italy has access to Africa, Europe, and Asia because it's on the Mediterranean Sea. Okay, rewind this, play it as many times as you want. Remember these things. You're going to be okay on that benchmark. Think it through. Read your questions. Thanks.